But whatever it is here, that I can see that sometimes the compassion and the care, but we don't have the techniques to be kind and compassionate. It doesn't just happen. You have to make it happen. You have to train to make it happen. And you can put a lot of effort in your life becoming fit in your body, doing exercises. You can do a lot of effort, in your life, becoming wealthy or getting your family together. But one of the most important things in life is being kind and understanding what compassion truly is. And it's amazing just how many people just haven't got a clue what kindness is. So much so that they usually sacrifice themselves for others. If you don't understand this, I'm sorry to repeat this story, but it's a very important story. It's the story of the 7 monks in the cave, which comes from the book Open the Door of Your Heart. And I told this even just a few days ago to a group of people, and even last Sunday also in a talk I gave in Wasserman Park. And it's amazing just how many people here in Australia and also in Asia just get the answer wrong all the time. I'll go through it very quickly because some of you have heard the story before. 7 monks in a cave, practicing loving kindness meditation, really great monks. The monks were as follows: the head monk, his brother, best friend, the enemy, number 4. The enemy never got on with the head monk. Even though they're monks together, sometimes we have personality clashes. With the best will in the world, some people just don't get on with. And the next monk was a very old monk. He was so old, advanced in years, that he could die any day. And the next monk was a very ill monk, a very sick monk. And again, he was so sickly that no one knew who would die first, the old monk or the sick monk. Both of them could die that night. They were so close to death. And the last monk was the useless monk. Every monastery has one. I won't tell you who they are. Just like in a family or in a business, you always have a useless monk. The sort of monk you could never do any chanting. Whenever he meditated, he would fall asleep and start snoring. Who could never remember anything from what the Buddha said, and was still there though anyway, because they were kind to him. So that was the last monk, the 7th monk. And in that cave, having a great time meditating, but one day these band of thieves, these robbers, found that cave, and they wanted to take it over as their headquarters and their hideout. But of course they wanted to kill all the monks so that no monk would tell the authorities where that cave was located. But the head monk, it's amazing, the head monks, they usually got the gift of the gab. They were great talkers. They could talk behind the of a donkey, as they say, and they managed to talk the head of the robbers into letting all the monks go except one who would have to be sacrificed so the rest could go free. So this is the question. It was up to the head monk to decide who would be sacrificed. And when I asked people, I asked them, I'll go through the list again. I want you to say, what would you do if you were that head monk? Who would you sacrifice? And remember, it's the head monk himself. There was his brother. There was his best friend. There was the enemy who he didn't like. But then again, there was the old monk. And the old monk was going to die any day now. And so the sick monk, he was at the end of his life. And lastly was the useless monk. And the useless monk, never in his whole life had he done anything useful for anybody. So, which did the head monk choose? Should be sacrificed? No one. No, he said himself over there. Someone said no one because you've read my book. I expected something like that to happen. But most people, and maybe you as well, if you haven't heard the story before, said he sacrificed himself. And that is the wrong answer. But that is the answer which most people say because they don't love themselves all that much. Because the answer actually was the head monk loved his brother no more, no less, exactly the same as he loved his best friend. He loved even the enemy no more, no less. He loved the old monk, the sick monk, even the useless monk, exactly the same. His love was unconditional. And just like I often mention, because many people come from the Christian tradition, they grew up in it anyway, even in the Bible it says to love your enemy, or to love your neighbour, to love your neighbour as yourself.